Last week we talked about a bison, a to-do list, peaks and valleys, and how to think about our thinking, to dwell on peace. All on our way to learning about the peace principle we find in Philippians 4:8. So, if step 1 is to dwell on peace, which will take practice because we live in a culture that does the opposite of that, what is step 2? Step 2 is discover peace. Most of us have actually never been taught to find peace, let alone peace from God. That sounds so out there, but I'll tell you, it's possible, and once you find peace from God, you're going to want to stay a while.
Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think of such things.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a pampered peace. By the way, thanks Lily. That was my first time ever getting a pedicure. Probably not the last though. Because, listen, a pampered peace is very temporary and does not last beyond the moment. No. I'm talking about discovering peace from God, like in Philippians 4:8 and 9. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whether you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. This kind of peace takes some time to learn how to discover it. Can I tell you, the key to discovering peace from God? It's linked very closely to some verses right before Philippians 4:8 and 9. It's in verse 4. It says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice!" To rejoice or have joy, according to Philippians, goes hand in hand with having peace from God in your life. In other words, joy helps to discover peace. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice! To rejoice or to have joy, according to Philippians, goes hand in hand with having peace from God in your life. In other words, joy helps you discover peace. Let's hear from some students on what brings them joy. Korshan, AJ, Trey, thanks again for joining us to talk a little bit more. This time we're going to talk about joy. So, in your own words, what is joy?
I think like happiness. I think that happiness is pretty much like joy.
Yeah.
So I think like being around family gives joy and stuff like that.
Sure. Cool.
Same, I was gonna say happiness too, and like everyone getting along, laughing and stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
Happiness, but also enjoyment, like fully not living the moment, but
Like kind of going like all in.
yeah.
Like right in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Very cool. Okay, what is something? So if you had to celebrate, or we get rejoice from joy, right? Like, what would you rejoice over?
Kansas City not losing.
So Super Bowl, like a sports team or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay, all right.
Probably my volleyball team winning.
Yeah.
It's been pretty rough with this season.
So if you had a win, you would rejoice over that. Like
Yeah.
probably your whole team would be rejoicing. Yeah,
It's
okay.
a lot of new players and
Yeah.
so I'd be really happy if we won.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll probably say New Year's Eve because that's when all my family came over and we had a lot of fun, and there was a lot of joy in that.
Oh, very cool. So not just celebrating or rejoicing that it's a new year, but because you had that time with your family. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Very cool. Okay. Last question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Where do you think you can actually find joy?
Simple things in life.
Okay. If you had to put a location to it.
probably say fun places,
Okay, like what?
like
What's fun to
KTR,
you?
a trampoline park.
Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice! Cool.
Probably my house because I have family there, and
Is there a spot in your house that brings you joy?
my kitchen.
Kitchen.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Is it
love food.
because of the food? Yes. That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I enjoy eating a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Super Bowl party, but the Kansas City Chiefs still win.
Okay. So like living room, all the snacks are out, but the score was different.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and answering some questions about joy.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Yeah, I think a lot of us wait for moments of joy to happen instead of going out and finding joy. Verse 9 in Philippians 4 says this: "Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you." This step in the peace principle is action-oriented. Put it into practice. For me, it's the difference between Christmas and Easter traditions. As a kid, on Christmas, I literally waited for someone to give me a present. My family would pass them out into piles of presents before we would open them up. But on Easter, growing up, I had to go and hunt for my presents. They were scattered and hidden all over the yard by a sneaky rabbit. When it comes to joy, go out and find it. Don't wait for it to come to you. Have an Easter mentality and discover peace. Finding out who you are and what brings you joy is a major part of relating to God. God created you and knows you better than you know yourself. As you discover more about who you are, you can rest in that and find peace in knowing whose you are. You are a child of God. Discover that, explore that, have fun along the way. Psalms 139:13 says, "God created you in the innermost being. He knit you together in your mother's womb." God knows you already. Take an active role in discovering more of who you are and what brings you joy. May the God of peace be with you as you rejoice in the Lord and discover peace.